Oh, hi. Hello. It's me. Your really hot British guy with a full stacked show of action to bring to you. What's going on? Welcome to the road to the Showdown. Day 23. We're closing in. After tonight, 2 more days of action. Friday, the last in the road to the Showdown. Well, tonight we've got 4 epic bouts, kicking off with Mandy Rose versus Nia Jax, then followed up with a qualification bout between Io Sky and Jasmine Nix. Jon Moxley, Jacob Fatu in the next bout, and then finally tonight to round out the show, Samoa Joe takes on the cleaner Kenny Omega. Without further ado, let's go into our opening bout this evening between Mandy and Nia and see just how things step up for this one. Into the breakdown arena for tonight's opening bout. And it's about to get a little bit irresistible here in the road to the Showdown.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making her way to the ring from San Diego, California, Nia Jax.
Nia, coming into this, a chance to qualify in this match. A win gets her to the Showdown in second in this division. No one else can clutch and grasp at the same position as her. And we'll know our top 2. It's just 3 and 4 are still up on the doors. As for our opponent, Mandy Rose, eliminated from qualification.
From Yorktown Heights, New York, Mandy Rose.
But still a solid combatant. 3 points to her name, a singular win in 7 matches, this being her 7th. Rose coming in, trying to at least cause some havoc in the Gold League. We've already seen results just intensify each and every bout, and we know that the Gold League won't be decided until this Friday, regardless of how this goes. But in a Mandy Rose win, we're still not locked in this Gold League. There's still potential for upsets and people being knocked out of this division, as we have already lost 2 of the 8 stars in this division. Mandy the first to go, and just yesterday Mercedes Moné suffered an elimination in her opening bout, but it wasn't a loss, it was a draw that eliminated her. A single point gained from that match for both Bliss and Moné, and that makes this incredibly more insane here in this Gold League, due to the fact that, well, Stephanie Vaquer, currently on 10 points, tied with Alexa Bliss. Tomorrow, Vaquer has a chance to go past 10, but she goes up against a star who's also battling for a top 4 spot in Chelsea Green. we'll see how that shapes up, obviously, as that matchup comes into fruition. But keeping our focus in on this matchup, Nia starting to get going as expected. Jax dominant whenever she's performing. And we know that she's resilient to opening shots, but realistically, she has been untested. Rose hasn't been able to land anything, and is really just being a punching bag for Jax in this one. She tosses her around this ring. Finally, Mandy getting some offense off onto Jax with that mounted strike position, and now applying pressure to the back and the arm of Jax. Wrenching back on that right arm, and then the knees to follow suit. Mandy doing some work now, but she's really still not in the game as Jax grabs a hold of her, scoops her up, and just slingshots her across the top turnbuckle. Oh no. Stomping the head of Rose into the mat. She's been busted open. And Nia continuing the pressure. This is such a difficult position for Mandy. She is being sized up. A leg drop across the back of the neck. And Jax opts for the pin. Could potentially have done enough to win here. Only a 2. As Rose kicks out. Deadlift up above her head. Rose in trouble. Just tossed with the military press. And now Jax, she's been very good, very solid in this match. Rose trying to fight back through. Actually connects with the big boot, forcing Jax into an awkward situation on the mat. This is where Rose needs to keep Nia. Keep her at bay, keep her trapped down here in Pummel Town, but Nia's not going to stay down for long, and she's hooked up Rose. The one-legged powerbomb, and she plants her and crumples her up for a 2. Nia still maintaining pressure. Rose fights back to her feet. Can't get that mounted punch again. And now Jax turns the tides, turns the tempo in her favor once more. Pinfall attempt in. It's a 2 count here for Jax. Jax certainly realizing how important a victory is here in this one. Snake Eyes in the corner. And Jax pops up Mandy in a deadlift powerbomb. Drops the elbow for good measure. I have to think Jax must be looking for the end here. She's got a stretch muffler applied. Rose just being brutalized there. The entire spine being curved like a bow. And now Rose trying to fire back with a comeback. The 2K sort at that. She lands it all flush. And now starting to unwind here on Nia as a roll through up and up. Jax in trouble, could be pinned here. Mandy only gets the 1. But she's still staying on top of the irresistible force. Nia in trouble. Mandy trying to fight on the last gasp of breath, but Nia might be killing that breath off in a second. Fires up, and she drags Rose to the corner. The headbutt through. discombobulating Rose, and Nia heads to the second turnbuckle because Mandy's going to be annihilated into the sitting pin. I thought it was it. I should have been it. Rose kicks out in time. But was that on pure instinct and not on willpower? Rose is on Dream Streak, finds a way to counter back with that jawbreaker and then the follow-up knee. Mandy trying to sneak it. A 2 count on the irresistible force. Jax keeps tasting the boot of Rose across the face as Mandy lines her up, hooks her up. Jax out with a bulldog though. Stops Rose's offense. Now she's gonna put her to sleep. The pinfall attempt through. Nia into it and victorious. Our match of the week ends in qualification for Nia Jax as she now secures the 2nd seed in the Gold League. 2 of the 4 stars now known for the live event this weekend. But we still have potential chances for tie breakers as Chelsea Green, Alexa Bliss. Well, Chelsea, actually, no, we don't have tiebreakers. Actually, we might do. Who cares? There's potential for tiebreakers still. And we'll see if that happens, though, in the Teal League. Sorry, in the Gold League. But speaking of the Teal League, that's where we're heading now. Our second bout of the evening's an Elimination Classic. And one that's got high stakes apart from the elimination, as your standings in this division become almost more clearer. Your chances grow when it comes to qualification.
Here is your winner, Nia Jax.
As our second bout of the evening will be the Genius of the Sky heading into the ring to face Jasmine Nix. Let's be honest, this bout, it screams intensity. It screams desperation. The stakes could never be higher, but my commentary could be 10 times better. We'll cover it off in a minute. But we're ready. For a big one. As Io Sky, Jasmine Nix, is about to hit your screens in a couple of ticks. Live from the Breakdown Arena in Pensacola, Florida. It's time to feel some fatal influence.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making her way to the ring, representing Fatal Influence from New York, Jack Man Nemeth.
qualification isn't secured just yet for either of these women. A win and Io reaches 12. A win for Nyx and she's on 11. The potential still remains, in that case, for essentially Natalya, Lyra to overtake and cause some havoc. As we already know, 2 qualified, 2 eliminated. The final 4 left to battle for 2 spots. They're closing it out in style against one another as this bout, this wouldn't eliminate Io Sky per se. However, it's almost an interesting...
Representing Damage Control from Tokyo, Japan, Io Sky.
It's almost an interesting prospect because, well, Natalya sits on 9 points. Io Sky lost that tiebreaker. In theory, Io in the loss is eliminated. Same for Jasmine Nyx. Purely based on tiebreaker positioning. And that alone would scarper the chances of either woman. So, elimination at stake for both women. As we prepare for war. The crowd behind Io. Can you blame him? The genius of the Sky. Certainly one of the most creative stars in IPW. And one of the most prolific when she gets going. As it stands, both women really do need this W. Well, neither can qualify just yet. We do have to consider just how difficult this tournament has been for a lot of these women, and especially Jasmine Nyx. Coming into this, you realistically thought of her as the weak link of the entire tournament, both men and women's brackets. Like, not a main event star, no championships to her name, the underdog in this tournament. And she's come out in her past few bouts. Again, she's had to beat stars to get here. Legitimately 3 victories, one of which a count out. But it's all 3 victories that have put her in this position where she can qualify. Now, whether or not she does, there's a nice German there from Io, is a different sentiment we have to consider, but the possibility is still there. And as Io starts to unload, Nyx's chances do go up in flames if she can't get going. But the good thing for Nyx is this is such a good sort of standings like that she's found herself in. She's beaten the television champ, presumably earning her a title shot. And if you're unaware, Io Sky lost to Natalya. That as a whole has helped Jasmine Nyx get to this position where the potential is she qualifies in 4th. Because, I mean, technically she can come in 3rd, but 4th is probably the most likely. And that's where things get interesting, because in 4th, she would be facing Michelle McCool round 1. That is guaranteed, as the flatliner through, she goes for the pin. Guaranteed after last night's show as well, where Fallon lost to Michelle in that big opening bout. And I got really shirty with how 2K25 works after the new patch. But regardless of that, let's focus on this match as Io puts Nyx on this top turnbuckle. Strike as well connects, and I think we might be going a bit Spanish here as Hola, como te amas? The Spanish fly comes through. Nyx feeling so much pain down that back. Io's looking to keep it shattered. Here she heads up top. The moonsault press connects and into the pin she goes. 1, 2, no. A near fall here for Io. She catches Nyx up and down with the Hurricane Rana. Shote connects as well. Io starting to just destroy Nyx. Starting to cut her to pieces. That is such a beautiful suplex with that bridge as well. But Nyx not going to stay down from it. Kicks back and keeps on kicking as she puts her boot to the face of Io Sky. Sends her running up and through the big time kick. Bust open Io. The pinfall attempt. And Io forced to kick out. Nyx is getting to that unstoppable state. That difficult to deal with star. And Io just can't muster up the courage right now to battle back. Or is she just lying in wait? Springboard moonsault connects. Unorthodox offense from Nyx. We don't typically see her utilize springboards, but hell, when she does, it's pretty ineffective. As once again, up, down with the big boot. Io's just rocked. And Jasmine trying to keep going, but finally Sky says no to the offense. Now starts to begin her own, very own moon missile dropkick from the apron. She once again heads to the top. The moonsault press connects. Io into the cover. 1, 2. How in the world is Jasmine Nyx still in this match? Hooked up for a knee. Drilled to oblivion. As Io keeps on fighting. Keeps on trying to just end it all. The Superman punch misses. Nyx can't follow it up. Wheelbarrow stomp through from Io. Sky slowing it down a little. The tempo was getting a bit hectic. But Io loves it crazy. And now she's looking to put an end to this match. Steps through with a cloverleaf. Hooked in deep. Nyx in trouble. The lower back. In pain but not going to tap instead. Stays in it. Nyx still caught, but Io keeping the pressure on. Misses with the basement dropkick, and now Nyx hooks her up. Rip cord. Forearm smash from Nyx, and now hooks Io up onto the torture rack. Up and over with the knee. Plants her dead center. The pinfall attempt through, and Nyx so goddamn close to stealing it. These two women giving it their all. Io keeps on going. Has Nyx hooked up. Puts her on the top turnbuckle. We've seen it before. Hola, como te amas? Mi amo es on 33. The Spanish fly coming through. And Nyx, I think her night might be over. Actually gets back to a vertical base. breaks the attempt. Io can't go for that moonsault attack. And now Nyx gets to punish. Catching Io off guard. She's keeping the strikes clean and precise as she's just brutalizing Io every step of the way. Double knees to the back. Adding a V-trigger-esque knee. Combined with some punches, and well, Io's in trouble. Fighting back though is Sky, who comes flying through with a lariat. Nyx in the drop zone. Io in the high rent district connects with the moonsault press. For the third time this bout, the pin's in, and Nyx is eliminated. A big battle for supremacy, ending in suffering for Jasmine Nyx. Fatal Influence lose their first star of this tournament, but you got to give kudos to Nyx in terms of her performance. Overall, she has showed up, put some gutsy performances on. Her match with Natalya recently was just sublime. And while it wasn't enough tonight against a genius as a Sky, she certainly put a hefty mark on certain people's records. But before we really get to talk about this Teal League once more, in terms of qualification, we're down 3 stars already. It's Julia, Roxanne, and now Jasmine Nyx all eliminated. We've got 2 stars yet to qualify. Actually, Io's not qualified yet. What am I on about? We've got 3 stars yet to qualify. Io will potentially lock in on a loss for Natalya. Likewise, so will Lyra, but Lyra tomorrow has the chance to just lock it herself.
Here is your winner, Io Sky.
As she tomorrow faces Roxanne Perez. But as we say, we won't get to see that until tomorrow. The Teal League still wide open in terms of qualification. But with one less woman in this tournament still able to qualify, let's wrap it up as we move to the men's divisions here tonight. Starting off with a bit of Jon Moxley and Jacob Fatu. Arguably the biggest nothing match tonight. But we've still got it, and as it's a tournament match, we can't do anything spicy. But I'm going to sit back a little bit more and let it play out for you guys. As yesterday we did talk a lot about this division and how people are qualified. As it stands, with this being a very much nothing battle, we're just going to let it play out. I'm going to chill a little bit and get prepared for our main event in a bit.
following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making his way to the ring from Cincinnati, Ohio, weighing in at 225 pounds, John Oxley.
Honestly, at Night of Champions, this man had one of the most epic entrances of his career.
California, weighing in at 285 pounds, the Samoan werewolf, Jacob Fatu.
If you can't tell, I'm a real big fan of light shows and just how they appear. Jacob Fatu's at Night of Champions was just glorious in the build-up to his entrance. And now, set to go toe-to-toe with Jon Moxley. Bragging rights are on the line here for this. As the Samoan werewolf enters the ring. Confidence exuded like no means. Our Pink League matchup here between Jacob Fatu and Jon Moxley. With bragging rights on the line, let's just say, well, to most it's a nothing match. To these two, it's anything goes. So, as we continue to watch on, we can briefly talk how this tournament's going, I guess. Obviously, we'll briefly mention the Pink League, but essentially, tomorrow is where things get decided. Gunther will battle Kurt Angle, and if Gunther loses, the top 4 is guaranteed. And we are heading to the Showdown in the Pink League. Just the only concern will be seeding. Now, that will get sorted out by itself for the most part. As essentially Roman versus Randy will take place on Friday. The winner of that, if not already, will qualify to the live event. The loser would then be in a position tied alongside Will Ospreay. And the potential is there for a battle. The other big issue is, if Gunther wins, there's guaranteed a tiebreaker situation between him and Ospreay. There's also a tiebreaker situation between Gunther, Ospreay, and then Roman or Randy. So we won't know our our third and fourth seed until after the regularly scheduled battles happen. And that's the issue, because we will have one extra tiebreaker matchup regardless on Friday if Gunther is victorious tomorrow. And that just sets excitement out the wazoo, because it's a similar story in the Gold League, just for how close it is as to who's qualified. There's potential there for tiebreakers. All the divisions really have tiebreaker potential. But one division that we know won't have that potential after tonight potentially will be this Green League that we're going to in the main event. We'll discuss the stakes on that a little bit later on, but currently it's so close in that division. It's becoming the new Gold League. If you couldn't tell, I am chilling out for this match, as, let's be honest, while it may be a banger match, it certainly has a nothing result, and I'm not really invested in it. I'm saving the energy for the main event. Jacob hooks up Moxley up and down, Impaler DDT, plants him center of the ring. The pinfall attempt comes through. 2 count in favor of Jacob, and so nearly the victory as well. Back to the pin again, utilizing the ropes for leverage. A 2 count from Jacob. Tries to toss Moxley, ends up losing him as Moxley fights out and now sends Jacob on a run. Connects with a punch and then a follow-up strike comes through. Moxley caught though as Jacob, wacky line, never mind. Moxley rebounds back into the lariat and goes for the pin. A 2 count for the lunatic. Bulldog choke locked in as well. Jacob, will he tap? Wrenched on deep, Moxley relinquishes the hold. Instead opts to stomp away at his opponent. Cause some more damage. Jacob fighting back. And he might love you solo. But he is going solo in this tournament. He could be taken out from, well, everything in IPW, because he is on a hefty losing spree. Both these stars aren't in this best position. Moxley in the corner, just choking Jacob, really punishing him, causing Simone Werewolf discomfort. Pinfall attempt. Moxley almost victorious. Can't get the job done just yet, as Jacob really tried to buy space on the outside, unable to get it as Moxley keeps the pressure on. Jacob caught again on the outside, this time Moxley. Dirty deeds connecting, and now follows it up with a stomp to the floor. He rolls in, looking for the win. Drops the elbow. And once again, Moxley not wanting to lose by countout. Smart. Problem is, he needs to get Jacob back into the ring. Sends him running. A referee's up to a 6. Make it a 7. Moxley sent back in. The count broken before the 8 gets raised. Jacob in control for a moment, but Moxley fighting back. Hooks him up. Uranagi plants him. Drags Jacob towards the center. And now he's lining him up. The rear naked choke locked in. Jacob, will he tap? It's in deep. Moxley relinquishes though. Wasn't in deep enough, and now tries to go bulldog. Can't get it. Jacob fights off Mox. Now the headbutts come in. Dissuading the offense of Moxley. Jacob stepping up. Has Moxley lined up and over with the lariat. And to the outside. Spills Moxley's body. But Jacob's looking to join him. Coming out flying with that tope suicida. Both men return to the ring. Moxley calculated with his shots. Lined up Jacob, but Jacob fights back, tries to pounce him. Unable to do so. The lunatic fringe. He's getting to a comfortable position. Taunting. Beckoning his opponent to his feet and disrespecting him every step forward that Jacob gives. But he's caught. Not caught though. Had enough, and Jacob hooks up Mox. Down with the impaler. Plants him. And the pinfall attempt in. Big kick out from Moxley. Keep alive in this one. Bragging rights really all at stake here for this. Our co-main event. Moxley in the drop zone. Evades the crossbody. Now sends Jacob running. Hits him with a lariat, but it's not enough to drop him. Instead, this paradigm shift will do the job. Jacob in trouble. The pinfall attempt. Moxley looking to win. A 2 count. For the effort. Straight jacket net breaker from Mox. And now he's looking to put Jacob to sleep. Locked in deep is a rear naked choke. Jacob's forced to tap to Moxley. With stakes not being as high as they could be, Moxley steps up. Shuts up the Samoan werewolf. Surprisingly, Moxley makes it to 11 points. 1 point separating him from qualification. You kind of have to feel for him getting that close. But in the end, it's not close enough. We've been saying that 12 is that magical number to get qualified. 11 was never considered enough. In the Pink League, anyway. It is enough in the green, where we are heading for our main event. Excitement starts to fill the room for me, and the energy comes with it. As some AEW compatriots to Moxley main event this show. It's a big battle for qualification and elimination as the Cleaner goes toe-to-toe with the undisputed World Heavyweight Champion, Samoa Joe. Stakes are at their highest. The Cleaner wins, he eliminates Samoa Joe. And he can also get into a good position in qualifying, but we'll talk about in a second just what's at stake for this one, because this is such an important battle. We need to give it the proper respect it deserves. And that respect comes right now with this, our main event.
The following is scheduled for one fall, making his way to the ring from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, weighing in at 224 pounds, Kenny Omega.
With 2 bouts remaining in the final week of this tournament, Kenny Omega, tonight and on Friday, can qualify for the Showdown. A win takes him to 12 points in the standings. A follow-up one takes him to 15 and secured second place. At most tonight, he can qualify and sit in second. But with a loss, he's still in with a chance of qualifying still on Friday. Losing both, and well, Kenny's in an awkward situation, tied with AJ Styles on 9 points, and a loss tonight would also tie him with the undisputed world champion he's facing. Tiebreaker rules will come into play, and Kenny would essentially be eliminated if it weren't for the fact that the triple threat rule exists.
And his opponent from Huntington Beach, California, weighing in at 282 pounds, the undisputed World Heavyweight Champion, the Samoan Joe.
As for Joe, he needs to win. A loss, he's gone. No longer can qualify for the tournament. So everything on the line here for him. And that is really all he can do is win, secure at least a tiebreaker. That's what's guaranteed if multiple stars finish on 9 points. But as we get underway, our main event between two of the best to ever do it, especially in AEW, the Cleaner and the Samoan Suplex Machine. Face off. Kenny calling his shot early. The trigger lined up, but the bullet not following as a springboard drop kick. There's the shot from Omega as he is doing a similar tactic to what we saw Jon Moxley doing, just taunting his opponent. However, Kenny not as clean as Mox, caught on the secondary maneuver. The champ, wise to the offense, able to turn it around, and this is something that we've come to know from Samoa Joe, is his ability to turn around silly offense and just pick up big victories. As the Uskaroosh across the knee of Omega connects there. Slingshot with the neck breaker. Then the drop kick to follow suit. Kenny getting into a solid place. The sit-out powerbomb comes through. Only a 1 count though. And this is smart offense from Kenny, realizing Samoa Joe obviously likes to, when he's in control, speed up the pace. Kenny slowing it down a lot gives him better position to just outpace Joe in the later stages, as that's a beautiful backstabber from Kenny coming through. The Cleaner hooks Joe up, Razor's Edge. No, it's Dr. Wily Bomb, I think. Beautiful maneuver followed up with just the feet across the body of Joe. Kenny is loading up. Some hefty shots here. Maybe another's following suit. The combination of strikes comes through. The Cleaner firing all cylinders. Standing solo. Drops Joe. But Samoa Joe fighting back. The champion getting into this. Kenny in trouble. Caught in the corner. Joe charging in. Trying to push him in a bit further. Can't do so. Instead, it just keeps Kenny trapped in that area. But Kenny firing back. Tries to hit a knee. Misses. Sends Joe running. A leapfrog. Takes the back. German suplex. Joe quickly back to his feet. Half and half. Suplex of his own. Omega now feeling the wrath of the champ. He's lining him up. Looks for the dub. Up and down. Just a toss of a power slam from Joe, who busts Kenny open with that knee. The champion really finding his mojo here. Kenny struggling right now. A pinfall attempt here from Samoa Joe. Almost an immediate kick out from Kenny. But he's going to avoid the punch strike from Joe. Joe avoids whatever Kenny was looking for. Instead, now Joe hooks Kenny up. Brings him up and brings him down as well. That big ending-esque maneuver connecting. Joe gets a 2. There's the cleaner struggling. Fights out the grasp of Joe, who may have been thinking coquina clutch. Instead, Kenny opting to take over. Deadlift, power bomb. Drills Joe to the mat and again lifts him up. This time onto his shoulders, turns him around. One winged angel connecting. From out of nowhere, Kenny looking for the victory with his finish. Only gets the 2. The shot's been called. The bang inbound. Charging through with the big V trigger. Now the cleaner here to sweep the floor with the champ. Punishing, but caught. Joe just tossing Kenny. As neither man really finding their solid ground, but Kenny, a symphony of drop kicks, runs the ropes and comes through with a diving crossbody. Into the pin goes the cleaner. Gets the 2. And he's surprised Joe's kicking out. But the champ, we know how resilient he might be. Through with a lariat. Make it a second. The 2K compound imminent. The power slam following it up. I have a feeling Kenny's gonna rue the day he tried to mess with the champ. In a moment's time, a 2 count off of that comeback maneuver from Joe. He now uncorks some big shots, wearing down Kenny. Just trying to put an end to his run here. Big knee from Omega. Stifles Joe's plans. But Joe fires back with a lariat. Kenny, though, hooked up, gut wrench, and spins him out. Joe connecting with ease, and now I think he's looking to put Kenny to sleep. The coquina clutch locked in deep. Referee getting a good look, watching for the tap that does come through. And Joe keeps his hopes alive in this tournament, getting to 9 points and winning our main event tonight. Shock and awe with that one. Samoa Joe wins, keeping himself in the tournament. Gets to 9, ties himself with AJ Styles. He's also currently tied with Kenny Omega. We won't know until tomorrow if this tournament gets even crazier. But the potential for elimination and qualification reigns through in tomorrow's matchup. And we'll talk about it. But qualification and elimination can happen to the same guy in one bout. And that is our opener tomorrow. And that opener, basically tomorrow is qualification day. The last of 2 chances these stars get in this week to qualify. As we say, congratulations to the champ for his massive victory here tonight on the road to the Showdown. It's time, though, to talk tomorrow. As Joe victorious. But can another Samoan pick up a W and go undefeated? Improbable, yes, but beating 7 guys in a row on your own is still plausible for The Rock. The only star that can do it in the entire Showdown. A win against Rollins would eliminate the Architect, the Visionary, from making it to the Showdown. A loss, however, ends the unbeaten streak of The Rock, and it qualifies Rollins to the tournament. Rollins needs to be on his A game, really, with that match. Following up with our next bout, it's going to be another qualification / elimination bout. A win for Gunther, and he is on 12 points. He would eliminate no one. He would cause a massive headache in terms of tiebreakers. So that is really the qualification factor, is he'd be guaranteed a tiebreaker. A loss, and well, he's gone. And we know our 4 stars going to the Showdown in the Pink League. Following it, Stephanie Vaquer, Chelsea Green in our co-main event. Both still can qualify. A win for either, and they're going to the Showdown. A loss, and everything's done and dusted. You will be, well, in Green's case, you'd be eliminated. No, you wouldn't. You'd be in a weird situation where elimination could potentially happen on our final bout. It's a crazy matchup that has such high stakes for both women that really can either just cause a massive headache for Friday or cause no headaches and make us all happy, which we're kind of working for. And finally, our main event. It's time to go Birds, as it's Lyra's chance to qualify. A win, she's going to the Showdown. Anything else, and she is in jeopardy. But that jeopardy won't be determined until Friday's matches, where everything will be settled. We'll see how it goes, but for now, I get to say thank you very much for joining me. Hope you've enjoyed the Road to the Showdown for tonight. As I say to you, it's always epic when these bouts happen. And I will see you tomorrow. Peace out.